Good morning, students. In continuation with the chapter Power Sharing, where in my previous video I've explained you the case study of two countries. One was Belgium and another was Sri Lanka. And you all have heard that how in these two countries the equal political rights were not given to the different ethnic groups, and due to this there was a lot of distrust between the social groups. So both these countries they decided to come to a solution, and the solution which was taken out by these countries I am going to explain you one by one. So let's begin with the Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka got independence in 1948, and as Sri Lanka got independence, the newly elected government they formed their government by means of the majority. And as this democratic elected government, as they were elected, soon they adopted a series of majoritarianism. That means that they established the series behaving in the sense that as they got this power by means of a majority, and that too a majority of the Sinhala communities. So these government established a Sinhala supremacy in Sri Lanka, and in 1956 an act was passed by the Sinhala government that the official language of Sri Lanka will be Sinhala. And that was a time when the government they came up with number of the policies, and all these policies they favored Sinhala. Sinhala in the sense that all the applications for the university positions or the government jobs, the preference was given to the Sinhala communities. And at the same time, children, a new constitution was formed, which came with the let's say an instruction that the state will follow the Buddhism. That means the state religion was the Buddhism. Now all these measures which were adopted by this newly formed government, they were not accepted by the Sri Lankan Tamils. Now they started feeling alienated, as they felt that all the favor was going towards the Sinhala communities. Let it be their state religion or let it be the culture or a language. So these Sri Lankan Tamils, they felt that the constitution of the government policies, they have denied them equal political rights. As according to the constitution, these Sri Lankan Tamilians, they were discriminated against getting of jobs and other opportunities, as they felt that the interest of the Sri Lankan Tamils has been totally ignored, and though it was ignored also. So this was the time when the gap between Sinhala and Tamilian it winded up, and a time came when the Sri Lankan Tamils they launched a struggle. They formed their own parties and they launched a struggle against the government, demanding an Tamil to be as an official language. Now this was not accepted by the government. At the same time, they also wanted that there should be an equality in the opportunity of education or jobs. But children, their demand was not considered. So by 1980, several political organizations were formed demanding an independent Tamil state. Now, because of the policies formed by the newly formed government, a distress came in the Sri Lanka between the Sri Lankan Tamils and the Sinhalas, and that distrust between the two communities it kept on widening up, and soon a time came, children, when a civil war broke out in Sri Lanka. which resulted into thousands of people were killed in both the communities. Many of the families were forced to leave their countries as refugees, and many of them lost their livelihood. There was a time when Sri Lanka was known for its development, education, health, but because of this civil war, a terrible setback of social, culture, and economic life was experienced by the Sri Lanka. So this is how Sri Lanka tried to solve their problem. Now on the other side, even Belgium was facing the same problem, where in Belgium also people were fighting for the equal political rights, where let's say a fight was between the French, German, Dutch. So when Belgium government realized, so do you know what they did? Children, Belgium, they took several measures to bring equality within their country. And in between 1970 and 1993, this Belgian government, they amended their constitution 4 times. Not to forget, children, they amended their constitution 4 times. That means they worked on the constitution again and again, just to make it sure that they are able to make a constitution which will favor or which will benefit everyone which are living within their country. And the arrangement they worked out was different from any other country and was very, very innovative also. The very first thing what they did, they wrote in the constitution that the number of Dutch and French speaking minister will be equal in central government. Means equal number of the ministers will be there of French and Dutch, so that whatever policies will be framed, it will be framed keeping in mind both the communities. Then many powers of the central government have been transferred to the state government. Means the state government, though they was the subordinate to central government, but state government got certain powers which they could use in their state and could maintain a equal status. Then Brussels, which was a capital city of Belgium, here was a separate government. In Brussels has a separate government in which both the communities have equal representation. That is, the French speaking people, they accepted equal representation of Dutch speaking, and Dutch speaking community, they accepted the equal representation of the French speaking community in the central government. Then apart from this, a very wonderful thing which was done by this government was, apart from the central and state government, there was a third kind of a government which was known as community government. Now this government was elected by the people belonging to one language community. Means a government which was formed either by a Dutch community or a French community or German speaking community, and no matter where they live, whether in a Belgium or in a capital city. Now this government, community government, has a complete power regarding their culture, educational and language related issues. Now in fact, I must say that Belgium, they worked very hard to make all the possible arrangements in their constitution in such a way which worked very well. They really helped to avoid any kind of a civil strife between the two communities, so that there should not be division within the country. And children, you won't believe, when many countries of Europe came together to form the European Union, and Brussels was chosen as its headquarters. So that is how the two countries, they tried to solve their problem of equal political right. But in one country, that is in Sri Lanka, the way the government tried to solve it, it led to a civil war. Whereas in another country, in Belgium, the way they tried to solve or to give the equal political rights to the people over there, that brought peace within their country.